St. Patrick's Day is celebrated in March, so my theme for the month is Irish coffee. Grab your notebook and a drink and come and plan with me. Hey people, it's Temi if you're new here, and I'm bringing you my March planning video. A little late, I apologise. February has been a bit of a mad one. But my notebook is from Notebook Therapy. I'll link all my supplies down below as usual. You can get a discount from Notebook Therapy with Temi journals. So continuing with my year of drinks themes, I've gone for this Irish coffee theme. Thanks to so many suggestions for you guys. This was definitely the most popular suggestion and I'm glad I went for it. So thanks for your suggestions. I was actually initially considering an elderflower drinks theme because that's my favourite drink, but the idea of having a sharp green from the bottle with the warmer tones of the brown coffee, this just won me over, so thanks so much for your suggestions. And please give me some suggestions for April, hopefully a non-alcoholic one because now I've done 3 in a row, but let me know what drinks you think could be good for April down in the comments. The main inspiration behind this theme is Irish coffee, as you know, and Irish coffee is a cocktail consisting of hot coffee, Irish whiskey, sugar and topped with cream. And apparently it was originally made by Joseph Jackson during World War II to keep his comrades awake through the night. And a popular whiskey used in making Irish coffee is the Jameson Irish whiskey, and it comes in this dark green bottle that I think will be a fantastic accent colour for the month. So for the cover page, I've gone for the bottle in the middle with the 2 Irish coffee mugs in front of it. And sketching this was relatively straightforward, and I'm writing March on the label of the bottle. I'm using craft paper to add a little bit of something to the theme, just to make it a little bit different. And I've got this craft notepad from Archer & Olive, but you can use any spare brown paper from packages or anything you've got. But I like this notepad because the paper is dotted, so I can align it with the dots on my page and write on it like normal. And the placements are just kind of random, to be very honest. I'm just ripping and finding somewhere that I think will be good, but I'm also trying to overlap it to my sketch so that it'll be cool to have the juxtaposed background when it's time to colour. And also as a side note, when I'm sticking something that covers 2 pages, I stick one side first and then I line it up to the fold to stick the other side. And I find that that helps me so that it sticks flat when the book is open flat, so I don't get any ripping or anything like that. I'm just quickly completing the sketch again, and now it's time to colour. I'm using my cheap brush pen set here, and I speak about this set all the time. It's a great dupe for the Tombow brush pens and it comes in a wide variety of colours. I mean, you don't necessarily need these many colours, so if you've got a smaller set, that's completely fine. I think the 3 main colours that you need will be a beige, a medium brown and a dark brown, and you should be able to mimic what I have as well. So starting with the coffee cups, I'm going for a blend from the lighter colour to the darkest one, but I'm starting by outlining the base of the cup with the dark brown colour, and then marking out where each of the colours will go, starting with the lightest and then the mid brown and then the darkest brown. We'll come back to finish colouring that in a second, but for the rest of the cup, I'm leaving white space to represent the cream, and I'm adding brown dots for the chocolate on the top. And now as I'm editing the video and recording this voiceover, I realised this is a big L. So I've got a 4-leaf clover on the top, thinking I'm so smart to link it back to the whole Irish theme. No, it's actually shamrocks that are associated with St. Patrick's Day. So a shamrock is a young spring white clover that grows during winter, and it's associated with St. Patrick's Day because the main guy himself, St. Patrick, is said to have used the plant as a metaphor for the Holy Trinity of the Father, the Son and the Holy Spirit. So the fact that I've got a 4-leaf clover right now is really embarrassing. So if you're recreating, please don't copy my mistake. However, I did find out that the 4-leaf clover is meant to represent God's grace and symbolises faith, hope, love and luck. So this ended up coinciding really well with the quote I had already picked for this month. So it worked out, so I'm not going to change my cover page. However, if you want to really link it to St. Patrick's Day, don't make my mistake. I hope you enjoyed that brief history lesson. I definitely learned something new. And to finish the illustration, I'm just colouring over the coffee with the brown colour, and it helps to make a nice blend. For the bottle, I'm just covering the whole area in the greens that I have, making sure I add some of the darker green for some shadows. And if you notice, I can go over the same spot a few times. So the paper I'm using is 160 GSM thick paper. It's fantastic. So if you have thinner paper, you might want to avoid doing that so you don't get ghosting. However, if you're looking for other 160 GSM notebooks, I've actually got a video comparing 4 of my favourite brands, so I'll link that up in the cards and down below, and that might help you decide on your next notebook. I'm just finishing off with the March title for the label and adding details to the glass and adding some white highlights, and we're done with the illustration. Now for the quote page. So I'm adding some craft paper to this side of the page just to balance the spread out a little bit. And the quote I've gone for this month is "A faith and not fear mindset." The reason I've gone for this quote is because this is something I'm actively trying to work on, and this will be a nice reminder for me to focus on it in the month of March. I'm using some alphabet stamps from Notebook Therapy for the mindset font. I love this font because it's almost childlike, and it kind of mirrors the idea of having childlike faith. But anywho, back to the stamping. As you can see, I have some issues with making sure that it's aligned. I kind of wish I could just stick the entire word together separately with like blue tack and then stamp it all at the same time. I don't know if that will help me to make sure I've got the same spacing and to make sure I have it all in line, but I just used some Tipp-Ex to tidy it up. And I'm adding green as the accent colour and some washi tape to finish the spread. And yeah, that's my cover page. And I actually love how it came out. It's kind of different for me, but I hope you like it too. Let me know what you think down in the comments. For my monthly spread, I always go for the same box layout so that I can see the whole month at a glance. And the box will go in the bottom left this month, and I'm just counting 6 by 6 dots for each square for each day. On the right hand side, I'm doing an illustration of a proper cocktail glass with the cream being poured in, and this is a really cool one to draw. And the colouring is probably easier than you'd think, but starting with the lightest colour, you want to block out the main swirls and the main shapes of how the drink is flowing. Now take the medium brown and fill in the slightly darker sections. So we've got an area at the top, and then for the actual drink, it's kind of like the outer edge. And I'm taking the darkest brown for the darkest points. I'm just blocking in the rest of the area, so not really thinking about blending, but just blocking in the rest of the beige, and then using the medium brown to outline some of the swirls. Now I'm using the lighter brown to blend some of the beige and darkening the brown area, and I hope you seeing this is a better explanation than me trying to explain it, but that's basically it for the drink. I'm just adding green horizontal lines for the header of each week and a simple March title, and we're basically done. Finishing off with some washi tape and we're good to move on. For my mood tracker, I've gone for one of those long mugs. And I'm adding craft paper to the bottom of the page and the accent green for the mood and habit titles. The illustration for this one won't be very detailed at all, because when I actually fill this in with each colour for each mood, it will end up looking really flat. So because of that, I'm just adding a tiny bit of shadowing on what would be the foam area, and then adding some details to the actual mug. I've numbered from 1 to 31 for each day in the mug, and I've got a key from the beige colour to the dark brown colour representing each mood. For my habit tracker, I'm doing the same layout for tracking 6 habits, and I'm using my calendar block stamps. And honestly, 1 month always has to be difficult, right? So I'm just writing in those dates that didn't stamp properly and adding a little bit more detail to the mood tracker mug. Just finishing the spread with a bit of washi tape, and we can move on to the gratitude log. If you're familiar with my channel, you know that I always keep my gratitude log layout the same each month. So I'm just flipping back to my grid spacing spread where I've got the amount of dots I need for this layout. And I'm just writing 1 to 31 down the page and highlighting every other line in the green. And it's just to give me 1 line a day for something I'm grateful for. I'm finishing off with some craft paper at the top with a simple gratitude log title. And on the right hand spread, I've gone for a self-care spread. This is something that's new for me in 2021. I've done it for the last few months because I'm trying to be more intentional about taking time out just for some self-care activities. So I've got 3 boxes that I will use to either write or draw an illustration to represent 3 different ways that I've taken care of myself this month. And so in the bottom right, I'm just doing a quick illustration of an Irish coffee mug. And the colouring is probably simpler than you think also. So just starting by mapping where the light colours are going and then going in with the mid brown and then the dark brown to bring it all together. I'm adding details like the chocolate on the top and adding form to the glass. I'm finishing the spread with a rounded rectangle for each of the self-care activities. I'm finally finishing off with my white pen for the highlights, and that's it for the illustration. I think this might be my favourite Irish coffee illustration for the month. Which one is your fave? Tell me down in the comments. And now we can move on to the final spread, which is my weekly spread. For my weekly spread, I've gone for a simple square layout with green headers for each day. I'm tying it back to the Irish coffee theme a little bit with the craft paper for the notes section in the top left of the page and a tiny coffee illustration. Honestly, it was so quick to do and so simple. I've gone for a very simple layout for my first week, and normally I do each of the following weeks as I go along. So take a look at my Instagram if you want to see how the rest of the setup came out. To finish off the spread, I'm just adding some more craft paper to the bottom right of the spread, as well as some washi tape, and we made it! Here is the final flip through of my Irish coffee theme for March. This setup is so different for me, and I had no idea how it would turn out, but I'm so happy with how it did, and I'd love to know what you guys think also. If you find inspiration from this theme, feel free to recreate it, but please tag me on Instagram in the caption and on the image so that I can see it and share it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Check out my sister's setup for a simpler March theme, and I will see you on my next video. Goodbye.